There's a lot of risk for injury, and I just don't recommend it personally. No offense to you if you do CrossFit. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Performance Talks. I am Jake Jones, owner of TJE Performance, personal training and online coaching, out here in Los Angeles, California, on a beautiful summer day. Now, today the topic is finally training and different training styles. Last episode, in episode 2, I went over different diets and just like my opinions on different diets and everything like that. Go check it out if you haven't heard it already. But let's get started. So I am going to start with something I hear all the time in the gym, and a lot of people have no idea what it means: hypertrophy training. So hypertrophy training focuses on muscle growth. It typically involves moderate to high repetitions between 6 to 12 reps per set with moderate to heavy weight. The goal is to create muscle tension and metabolic stress, which are key factors in promoting muscle growth. You commonly hear you want to be failing between the 8 to 12 rep range, and training for hypertrophy is probably one of the best ways to put on muscle fast, muscle mass. Now, strength training. Strength training is going to be very different than just trying to put on muscle. You're actually going to go a very low rep range between 1 and 6 reps with heavy weight as much as you can, progressively increasing the weight lifted over time. And then you're going to see a lot of compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, and bench presses. Basically, the whole goal is to maximize your strength. Powerlifting, a little different. It's competitive strength training. It's a sport involving the 3 main lifts: squat, bench, and deadlift. Now, the entire point of powerlifting is to push as much weight as possible in their lifts. Unlike bodybuilding, where the training is really essentially putting as much tension on muscle as possible, powerlifting is going to be moving that weight from point A to point B. So there's a little difference there. Then you have Olympic weightlifting. It's another competitive strength sport involving 2 lifts. You're going to see the snatch and the clean and jerk. I'm personally terrible at both. I don't do it. I think there's a very high, unless you're training for those competitions, I personally feel there's a very high injury possibility there. These lifts are very explosive. Power, speed, and technique are needed to perform these well. Something I've never practiced is either of these movements, snatching and clean and jerks. Like I said, I am personally in the competitive bodybuilding side of things. But up next, bodybuilding. Like I said, bodybuilding is focused on developing muscular symmetry, aesthetics, and definition. Basically, it's all about how you look. Workouts often target specific muscle groups. That is a huge difference between training styles. I personally isolate like chest day, back day, leg day, shoulder day, arm day. Like, it's really depends. There's different splits in bodybuilding and everything like that. But like I said, bodybuilding, the training style is essentially getting as much tension in the movement as possible on whatever desired muscle you're training. So if I'm training chest and I'm powerlifting, I'm going to try to move it from point A to point B as heavy as possible, pretty much. I'm going to try to move as much weight as I can from point A to point B. If I'm bodybuilding, it's actually more essential, more important to maybe drop the weight a little so you can really use your biomechanics and create as much tension in your chest as possible, because it's not the goal to be the strongest dude as a bodybuilder. It's solely based around appearance. And the more tension you build or put on the muscle, the more it's going to grow. And a lot of these, like bodybuilding, you're going to want to do a lot of hypertrophy training. Powerlifting, you're going to want to do a lot of strength training. These are just different words and training styles that are thrown around a lot, so I'm just kind of doing a basic understanding of all of them. CrossFit. Don't get me started, but CrossFit is a high intensity training style. Personally think it's stupid how they're taught. I think it's great for cardiovascular and stuff as long as the form is actually being taught. I think a lot of CrossFit gyms kind of miss that point in teaching proper form. You can watch CrossFit athletes do pull-ups. I have mad respect for people like Matt Frazier and the guys at the top of CrossFit, but when you get to the lower ends and you see people training at CrossFit gyms, there's a lot of risk for injury, and I just don't recommend it personally. No offense to you if you do CrossFit, especially if you do it competitively. I think it is amazing that you're out there performing and pushing yourself. You guys can do a lot of shit I can't do personally, but it's just not my thing. But I still have a baseline respect for everyone who's in the gym, to be honest. Functional training, I think this is important for everyone in the gym to at least be doing this. It's an emphasis on movements that mimic real life activities. Improve your functional strength, stability, and mobility. I'll do this mainly with my older clients. It's just purely functional training. The ability to walk backwards. Why do so many people have falls when they're older? Because you don't really walk backwards, and sometimes you go to take a step backwards after not doing it in so many years, and your muscles that used to do that just aren't the same anymore. Your balance is off and you fall over. It's very common. Muscle groups, this honestly, you do a lot of resistance band stuff, free weights, and body weight stuff here. Functional training is very important, I think, for everyone to at least be doing this. If you need to pay attention to your body over time, or else you are going to have long-standing issues. One of my favorite analogies is treat your body like a car. If you fucking beat the shit out of it for 5-10 years, the car is going to be a piece of crap when it's old. But if you take really good condition of it, keep up with the maintenance, it's going to be worth something when you're older, It's going to actually become like a classic thing that other people respect too. Body's no different. Circuit training is very easy. It's not easy to do, to be honest. It can wipe you out, but basic understanding of it is easy. Circuit training involves performing a series of exercises in a sequence. So an example of this would be you're going to do 15 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, 10 pull-ups, and 15 squats, as many times as you can in a 15-minute period. That's a basic understanding of circuit training. Pyramid training. I love to do this with my clients, actually. Pyramid training involves gradually increasing or decreasing the weight and repetitions in a workout. Usually what I consider pyramid training is, you start, let's say you're bench pressing, start at 135 pounds, you go up to 175 pounds the next set, then you go up to 225 pounds the next set after that, and then the fourth set you'd actually bring it back down to 175 pounds, or probably more likely 185 pounds, but then you go back down. So basically sets 1 and 5 will match, and so will sets 2 and 4, with set 3 really being your highest push and weight. But German volume training. GVT involves performing 10 sets of 10 reps in a single exercise. I have tried this with squats. It is brutal. It's something that I'll do every so often just to kind of switch up my training styles. Whatever you do it with, you're probably not going to get much of a workout after that single exercise, but hey, it is fun to do. It's a good way to push yourself. Go in the gym, see if you can squat 225 for 100 reps, 10 sets of 10. Around 50 or 60, you'll be questioning yourself, but you got it. Time under tension training. This is what I talk about with bodybuilding. It's all about building tension on the muscle. It's when you see a lot of guys doing negatives, which is like going really slow on the way back down of a bench, or like anything that really builds tension in the muscle. It can be a positive movement where you go really slow, really focusing on contracting the muscle. It's really up to you how you want to get the tension. There's a few different techniques to do this, but you're not going to really see time under tension training in powerlifting too much. I've never been a power lifter, but I see it all the time in bodybuilding. PHA training, peripheral heart action training. probably haven't heard of this one. PHA training alternates between upper and lower body exercises to promote circulation and cardiovascular fitness. This is obviously very specific for people who are having cardiovascular issues usually, but it can be an effective way to burn calories while also building strength. You're not going to really build a significant amount of muscle doing this, in my opinion, compared to doing a very large split, but those are just some basic training styles I wanted to start with. No offense to the CrossFit people, once again. I do have respect for people at the top of the sport. I really like guys like Matt Frazier. And some of those women are strong as shit. And the fucking top of bodybuilding, that's my sport, you know. Gotta love that. And trust me, I know wanting to be a professional bodybuilder is a little out of the norm, but that's why we love it. And basically, I hope you guys learned something today. If you did, please subscribe, share it, whatever. I appreciate any support, comment. This is only the beginning. This is episode 3. I'm going to keep them going. They're only going to get better, and appreciate you guys.
Music